Welcome back to Fantasy Football Podcast presented by, well, just me. So Andy's not feeling well. Warriors still MIA. Here I am. They put the one with bad internet and lacks any sort of technology in charge. So we're going to see how this goes. Anyway, last week we made some predictions. Some of us got them right. Some of us got them wrong. And that's what happened. So we're going to move right along to my favorite segment. Pal, what are you drinking? All right. I got Miller Lite. Nobody else is here, so here we go. This week, week 9 predictions. Me versus Jeremy. I have CMC on a bye, so that isn't great. I got Jake Ferguson or Cole Kmet. I'm going to stick with Jake Ferguson at this point. My other lineup decision, Jahan Dotson off a hot game over Drake London, Nico Collins, or Jacoby Myers. I think I'm leaning Jahan Dotson, Drake London, Nico Collins, pending Drake London's injury. If not, Jacoby Myers is going to have to do. Jeremy has Amon-Ra and Javonte on a bye this week. His only real lineup decision comes down to Josh Palmer or Tyler Lockett. I'm going to play Josh Palmer in this situation. I'm going to hope Palmer's back and healthy. Lockett is also dealing with his own injury. He is currently without a tight end, Darren Waller. So that's a bold strategy. You should probably find one of those. I like most of my team's matchups, so I'm going to roll with me over Jeremy for the win. And my mama said Jeremy's team's no good, so we're going to roll with me. Andy and Boyer have yet to comment, so maybe at some point they'll put their predictions out there for everybody else. Otherwise, maybe I just get points and they don't. Chris versus Walker. Chris is missing Gibbs and T-Law this week. His only real lineup decision in my eyes comes down to Henderson versus Thielen, and I'm going to leave Thielen in for the upside. Walker has Debo on bye, but he has been injured anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Walker's only real lineup decision is, does he play Najee or Chuba over Hunt and Brian Robinson? I think I'm going to play Hunt and Hubbard this week. It's kind of a weird situation. Najee's not been good. Brian Robinson's been all right. He's got the upside, but Hunt's been solid. Ford's coming back. They're going to split the workload. Chuba Hubbard's really taken over that backfield and has a decent matchup. So I'm going to run with those two. Probably an unpopular opinion. A lot of people would probably say play Brian Robinson. But I like Hunt and Hubbard this week. And since I'm the only one on here, I get the opinion. So there you go. Walker's running backs make me nervous this week. I'm taking Chris for the win. Andy and Boyer have yet again not commented. The next matchup, Paul versus Robbie. Paul currently has no quarterback, assuming Stafford's thumb is no good to play. He has no kicker and Laporta on a bye. My lineup decision here is Hollywood Brown versus Davante Adams. Both are running on backup quarterbacks and both play solid defenses, but I'm still going to play Adams and pray he gets the ball with the new coaching staff against the Giants over Hollywood versus the lockdown Browns. Browns have been good against wide receivers. I'm just going to hope that Davante Adams is good this week. So that's what I would do there, Paul. Robbie is missing Christian Kirk, Kittle, and Judy this week. He currently has 5 questionable players in his lineup, and just Madison is an alternative if needed. So lineup decision comes down to, if one of them doesn't play, you throw Madison in. It's about what you got. I don't like either team this week, but if all of Robbie's questionables are playing, I think he edges Paul out in this one, and this is not a good matchup. Andy Boyer yet to comment. Boyer versus Charlie. Boyer is currently missing a tight end. Actually, as I started this thing, he just added Tyler Conklin, which essentially means he's still missing a tight end, and he's missing a defense special teams this week. You should probably get on that. His only real lineup decisions is getting Godwin in over Rice or Higgins. I think I would be sitting Rashee Rice, play Godwin, and pray that Higgins is good this week. Once again, a probably unpopular opinion, Higgins had a decent week last week. Rashee Rice is the number one still as a wide receiver in Kansas City. I just don't know what to do with that wide receiver core. So I'm playing Godwin and just praying Higgins plays well this week. So those are the two I'm playing. I'm sitting Rashee Rice. Charlie is missing the Jacksonville backfield this week on a bye with Etienne and Bigsby. He's missing Montgomery. He's missing Ridley and the Lions DST this week. And then he's got an injured Fields on his bench. Luckily, Charlie has a healthy starting lineup where he hopefully doesn't need to adjust anything on the way. Otherwise, he's going to be trying to make a quick roster adjustment here. Picking somebody up off of free agency last minute. I'm taking Charlie in this one, but I think this one is probably a lot closer than most of us think it will be. Andy versus Colin. Andy has Ayuk on a bye and currently has Moss in his lineup finally. But is that the right choice? Should he play Moss this week? He has Pierce and Algier on his bench, but I'm not starting either of them over Moss. So let's hope for Andy's sake that Moss decides to continue getting work, continue getting some touchdowns, and stealing work from JT still. Colin lost Kirk Cousins this week. So that's not ideal for his quarterback situation. He has Geno Smith in now. His only real lineup decision comes down to putting in Roschon Johnson over one of his wide receivers, Olave, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle. I would still play the wide receivers for the upside here. I'm not a fan of either of these teams at this point, but I'm going to take Colin for the win this week. And the last game, we have the Dirty Duo versus Fryer. The duo currently without a kicker, but otherwise has a full lineup. They have a shitty spot with running backs, and I would take the risk on playing DeMarcado over Foreman this week. And you have to play Pollard and keep praying it gets better there for him in Dallas. I like what JSN has been doing, but I'm not playing him over the rest of your wide receivers. So I like the depth of your team, and I like what you guys have. I just think your running back situation isn't great, and you guys know that too. I'm sure of it. Fryer has no buys at all this week to deal with, so good work, Fryer. His current lineup has Taysom Hill in it in the flex. He has Puka Nacua, Jordan Addison, Ramondre Stevenson, all on his bench. Fryer's deep. I get the love for Taysom Hill as he's had 2 good weeks in a row. But I think this week I'm playing Ramondre Stevenson over all these other pieces. Very unpopular opinion, I know, but Washington just traded their 2 best defensive linemen. New England lost their top wide receiver. I think New England's going to have to lean on the running backs this week. And Washington's defense didn't get any better. They definitely got worse here at the trade deadline. So I'm playing Stevenson, hoping he gets a run, hoping New England pounds the ball. That's what I got. For that, I'm giving Fryer the win this week. So there you go. There's your Tyler Reed quick fantasy update.